chapter 12, part 3, question 899, okay, about addicts and virtues. It's middle of this iten I started. Of two wealthy individuals, one was born in opulence and has never known need, whereas the other owes his fortune to his own labor. One of two wealthy individuals, one was born in opulence and has never known need, whereas the other owes his fortune to his own labor. However, both employ their wealth exclusively for their own personal satisfaction. Which one is the more culpable? They answer to Kardec, the one who has now hardship. He knows what it means to suffer, but doesn't relieve it in others. As usually happens, he no longer remembers his hardship. Other question. Do those who continue to accumulate assets without benefiting anyone have a valid excuse in saying that they are doing so in order to leave the assets to their heirs? It attests to their bad principles. Other question. Of two misers, the first deprives himself of necessities and dies of want to ate up his treasure, whereas the second is only stingy toward others, but is extravagant toward himself. While he recoils before the smallest sacrifice to render a service or do something useful, nothing seems better to him than satisfying his own tastes and passions. If a favor is asked of him, he is always ill-willed, but if a whim strikes, he is always ready to satisfy it. Which of them is guiltier, and which of them will have the worst place in the spirit world? The answer is the one who spends. He is more selfish than the miser. The miser has already received part of his punishment. It's wrong to desire wealth with the desire to do good. It's wrong to desire wealth with the desire to do good. The answer. Such a sentiment is, of course, laudable if it's pure. But is such a desire always disinterested enough? Doesn't it hide a personal ulterior motive? Isn't the first person to one we wish to do good many times our own self? It's wrong to study others' defects. Then the other question before that, the Spirit answer with two questions. The next, it's wrong to study others' defects. answer. If it's for the purpose of criticizing and divulging, then it's wrong because it displays a lack of charity. If it's with the intention of applying it to oneself in order to avoid the same defects, it may be useful. You must not forget, however, that tolerance for the defects of others is one of the virtues entailed in charity. Before criticizing people's imperfections, think about whether others may say the same about you. So try to possess qualities that are opposite to the defects you criticize in others. This is a means of perfecting yourself. If you criticize them for being avaricious, be generous, for being harsh, be nice, for acting with pettiness, be expansive in all your actions. In a word, act in such a way that... Sorry, I returned it because it was possible. I have a problem in charge the battery of phone. I will read again because I don't know where I stopped it. The question was, do those who continue to accumulate assets without benefiting anyone have a valid excuse in saying that they are doing so in order to leave the assets to their heirs? It attests to their bad principles. Another great question. Of two misers, the first deprives himself of necessities and dies of want to eat up his treasure. This is Uncle Patinhas. Is the same. And whereas the second is only stingy toward others, but is extravagant towards himself. While he recoils before the smallest sacrifice to render a service or do something useful, nothing seems better to him than satisfying his own tastes and passions. If a favor is asked of him, he is always will-willed. But if a whim strikes, he is always ready to satisfy it. Which of them is guiltier and which of them will have the worst place in the spirit world? They answer, the one who spends. He is more selfish than the miser. The miser has already received part of his punishment. Another question. It's wrong to desire wealth with the desire to do good? Such a sentiment is, of course, laudable if it's pure. But is such a desire always disinterested enough? Doesn't it hide a personal ulterior motive? Isn't the first person to whom we wish to do good many times our own selves? They answer to Kardec with two questions. Next question. It's wrong to study others' defects. If it's for the purpose of criticizing and divulging them, it's wrong because it displays a lack of charity. If it's with the intention of applying it to oneself in order to avoid the same defects, it may be useful. You must not forget, however, that tolerance for defects of others is one of the virtues entailed in charity. charity. Before criticizing people's imperfections, this is about whether others may say the same about you. So try to possess qualities that are opposite to the facts you criticize in others. This is a means of perfecting yourself. If you criticize them for being avaricious, be generous. For being harsh, be nice. For acting with pettiness, be expansive in all your actions. In a word, acting in such a way that these words of Jesus may not apply to you. You see the speck in your neighbor's eye, but don't see the beam in your own. If it's wrong for a person to probe the ills of society and expose them, that depends on the sentiment leading the person to do so. If a writer only wants to create a scandal, he or she does it out of personal pleasure, publishing material that generally sets a bad example rather than a good one. This spirit enjoys it, but it can be punished for the pleasure it feels in revealing evil. In such cases, how can we judge a writer's purity of intention and sincerity? The answer, there is no need to do so. If the message is good, benefit from it. If it's bad, it becomes a problem for the writer's own conscience. Moreover, if writers desire to prove their sincerity, it falls to them to support their principles by setting their own example. And two finished questions. Some authors have published works that are beautiful and morally uplifting, which help the progress of humankind, but which they themselves don't take advantage of. As spirits, will the good they have done through their works be taken into account? The answer is, morality without action is like to seed without the sowing. What use is the seed if you don't make it grow in order to feed you? Those persons are guiltier because they possessed the intelligence to comprehend. Having not practiced the maxims they offer to others, they fail to harvest the fruit. Is it reprehensible for those who do good to be conscious of their deeds and to acknowledge them to themselves? The answer, since they can be aware of the evil they do, they must be equally aware of the good in order to know if they act rightly or wrongly. It's in weighing all their actions on the scales of God's law, especially on those of the law of justice, love, and charity, that they can tell whether their actions are good or bad, and thus approve or disapprove of them. Hence, they cannot be at fault for recognizing the fact that they have triumphed over their evil tendencies, and for being satisfied for having done so, provided they don't grow vain, for that would be to fall into another wrong. People that have so vain to uh, to gain the fight with his own addict, can, with so much vain, said to other, you don't say to other for an error. You are a king man, you don't want left these addicts and start to let other addicts fall down, cause his own vain is a wrong too. Then we must learn to maintain our balance. When we are supplying vicious addicts, or we are getting great balance, we must don't have so much vain about it, because we will probably start to reprehend others the wrong way. In fact, we must understand the other and show our practice to be in balance. But never we must make others felt so bad with his own addicts, because we know how much is difficult left an addict. We must ever show equality, and all of us are passive to fall down in one addict. And we must ever see inside us, not the other. Only other knows how much they are fighting to get some balance. Is this? Then I hope you like it. And the next iten from Spirit's book is about passions. So interesting. And remember you that I'm reading here, not to say I'm so good, I'm a better. Oh, no. I'm so distant to be perfect. Grace of God. I'm a full of errors, without passion, patience, sometimes, without being in nervous with people provoking me. And remember you that all my life I had provokers, I have haters, without making nothing, cause my appearance, cause have mediumship, who have mediumship, put a foot in floor in some place, all people will feel this. Is charisma that mediumship give us, and I say to you, is not good in certain environments. It's not good, but in general, is a bless. Generally, it's a blessing life. God bless all. God give you courage to be you and to see inside you, not inside me. I must see inside me. You must see inside you. Okay? Until the next. Have a great final weekend. And today have a reunion with Dr. Bezerra de Menezes and doctors in the spiritual plane. If you want and believe, be in your room reading a part of New Testament and meditate. And you can ask in the middle of your meditation, you ask God what you have need, okay? Until the next. A great final weekend.